Oh. I see you're requesting. Um, you're outing yourself on the internet. Help cakes.
This is a joke, right?
How old are you?
No, this is a joke, right?
You're a child. You're a child. No, you cannot come on my panel, help cakes. That's creepy.
Hello?
What's up?
What's up? Okay, are you actually being serious, bro? How is circumcision rape?
There's no consent. It uses coercion. The person is helpless, incapacitated, or below legal age, and there's the scope of the acts include penetration with an object, not just intercourse.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Mm. Rape is significantly underreported, so official statistics are likely an underestimate. JTB.
I mean, I was circumcised and I don't feel like I was great.
What do you want me to do about that?
I mean, aren't there more, I mean, what, what's your, are you gonna talk?
I,
You gonna
I
talk?
asked you a question, and now you're just giggling. So, are you going to be on the panel, or what are you going to do?
Wait, what'd you ask me?
What do you want me to do about you being graped?
I wasn't great though.
Okay, then what are you doing here?
But what do you mean? You said
Don't say
that
anything. Don't say
you're
anything yet.
saying that it's great.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. I appreciate you. The news.
Hi. So there's actually two of us, me and Legitimately. We are a news team. Say hi, Legitimately.
Hey, how you doing? My
Okay,
name's
you guys are whatever. I'm not doing pranks, or you're too young. Dawson.
Hello, how you doing?
Fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had to get it done as a procedure, and it kind of felt like rape, to be honest.
Why? Okay, I'm sorry that happened. Uh, do you want to tell me why and when this happened? Because
Happened
I'm
when I
an
was like
investigative
10.
journalist too, so we can try and find out who did this and why.
Oh, well, no, they did it for medical reasons. It wasn't for, it
Were you an
wasn't
infant
because
when it
of,
happened?
no, no, I was like 8 or 9.
Okay, and do you think that it was necessary, or do you think they just wanted to cut you?
I was told it was necessary, but I don't really know, man. It was pretty bad. I still have like
I'm
scars and everything.
well, Dawson. If you live in the United States, I do. You don't have to tell me where you live, but it's overprescribed in the United States. They use it for a lot of things that is not called for because they make more money cutting into people. That's just how the medical system works. It's a big corrupt industry, Dawson. And I don't know if you needed circumcision or not. I can't guess if you need one or not. And because I don't know, I'm not a urologist. Even if I was, I would not trust an American urologist because a lot of them think circumcision should be standard practice. But I had a guy up here that was in ER medicine for 15 years, and he said it's way overprescribed and it used way too much. So Dawson, whatever happened to you may not have needed to happen, and you should consider it grape because you should get more details about why this happened and if it was 100% necessary. Because there's a chance that it was never necessary for you, and it's definitely not necessary for infants,
Yeah,
Dawson, because it gives no benefit
yeah.
unless you have a
I don't
distinct medical
understand.
need.
I don't understand that for infants. To be honest with you, I've never
You
got
what?
the rationale behind that. I never
Dawson,
understood the
it's about
rationale
money.
behind doing it to infants.
Wait, what?
Well,
It's about money.
it's about money. Dawson. They're making money off of it. That's why they do it. They'll chop off any body part of any person at any time if they can get away with it and make money. That's how the corrupt medical industry works in the United States. They've been dealing with it for years now. It's just a big corrupt industry, Dawson, and like they're victimizing children. They're profiting off the suffering of children. So Dawson, if you ever have kids one day, do not get them circumcised, and be just have a healthy skepticism of any medical procedure that involves this level of damage that could happen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times these doctors are just looking to victimize people. Sometimes they're looking for money. There's all kind of creepos in every industry, and you got to watch out for people who are in one of the most corrupt, creepy industries, and that's the healthcare industry.
Hey, Evan, I have a question.
Yes.
How much schmegma do you have on your dick?
Jonathan, I have snot in my nose.
Like,
I
do you use
have
it as like
you,
nacho cheese? Do you just like scoop it out of your
Jonathan. You have to be. You
weird
have to,
octopus
Jonathan,
penis?
why,
Octopus
why is Dawson?
weird penis. You have a weird
Why is Dawson
penis. Is
so much?
very
Why is Jonathan
your
Dawson
penis
so
is
much?
weird.
Why
Your
is
penis is so weird. Fucking
why
weird.
is Dawson so much more intelligent about this compared to what you're saying? Why is Dawson so much smarter about this? Because he's maybe put some thought into it because he was forced to have this happen to, well, not, I don't know if it was what happened, but it happened to him when he was like 9 years old.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice, man. I
You
really
didn't
didn't.
have, Dawson, if you had the choice,
I was told.
yeah, did they tell you why?
Yeah, no, they never explained why ever.
Maybe because
I was never told exactly why.
you should find out. And here, I'm gonna send you a follow, Dawson, because if this happened to you unnecessarily, we're trying to get justice, so you may be included in that form of justice. But that Dawson, what needs to happen is there needs to be people like you and me, people who care about what's happened to them and its negative impacts on their life, and get society to change. Because
Hello?
Dawson, you're
Hello?
not gonna, your story's not gonna be told, and your hurt that you're feeling
Don't
is not
fucking
gonna be
mute me,
understood.
bitch. You fucking whales.
Is not gonna be understood unless we hold these people
Hello?
accountable, Dawson, and that requires like
Hello?
forming groups and talking about it and supporting each other. So Dawson, I support you. I encourage you to send me a follow and look at the Bloodstained Men. The Bloodstained Men, Dawson, and I would try and figure out why
Okay,
this
what is
really
it?
happened to you. They're called the Bloodstained Men. Bloodstained Men. Brother K. Also look up Eric Klopper. EricClopper. He is an attorney dealing with routine infant circumcision, and there's a lot of people working on this. A lot of people working on it. And we're fighting a very big corrupt
Yeah, I'm
industry.
in Canada, so
Okay, you're in Canada. Well, that's
yeah,
still
I'm in
you can
Canada, so it's
you
kind
could
of
still participate. I mean, Canada's pretty close by, so you have a voice, Dawson. And it shouldn't
yeah.
like that's if it was in Canada, I'm a little more trusting of their medical system than I are of the United States. well, let's not say a little, let's say a lot, but still, was it an urgent necessity for you to have this? Is would be my question, and you should find out, Dawson. Anyway, this Help Cakes guy is
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
moil who
find out.
grapes kids because he admitted it in the chat. I'm not attacking him personally, so I have to block him. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't mind if other people come up here and speak. I just want to tell you that.
no, Ella's here. Ella's
That's
here.
all.
She I don't know
That's
what
all.
she's gonna say, but we'll find out.
No, I'm not gonna say nothing because you have your own beliefs. I just need some explanation.
Okay. Well, you can go look up the definition of grape and see how it applies to circumcision on infants or people who were just had this happen to them with no medical necessity. Because Dawson, you may have had phimosis, which is natural for boys to have, where you cannot retract until you get to a like in your teens sometimes, and it may have never been necessary, and that could be treated other ways, Dawson. So the fact that they cut you may have meant that you had an extreme
Wait,
need.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, actually, I remember now.
Okay, Dawson, were you having trouble like
Yeah,
like going to the
it was
bathroom?
phimosis. That's what it was. I remember now.
Okay, Dawson, were you having trouble going to the bathroom
Yeah,
at
that's
all?
what it was.
Okay, well, it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like you had phimosis, and you may have had a distinct medical need for it, but when they're treating
Yeah, that's
phimosis,
what it
they do
was.
not need to, well, they don't need to cut it all the way off either. So I don't know, like, how much they remove. How old are you, let's just say, are you 18 or up?
No, I'm 20.
Okay, you're 20. Okay, good. Because I just want
I'm
to make sure
20.
you're not. Okay, good. I'm 41. So you, I don't know. I'm not an expert on this, but I've heard they don't need to remove the entire foreskin to treat phimosis. And I hope that's not what happened. And Dawson, if it is, that would, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry this happened at all. I'm sorry that you had phimosis. And phimosis can be treated with like steroids and stretching. And it's natural to have,
Yeah,
but you had
yeah,
a
no, I know.
complication.
Yeah, I had a
Yes.
complication of some kind. I don't know. It was just like it's not. I don't know. It bothers me a bit, not really. Like when I think about it a little bit, it bothers me. But that's about it.
Dawson, I'm yeah, I'm sorry. It's well, you're in the right place, Dawson. There's a whole. If you want, I can add you to our group chat because you're over 18, and it's me
Yeah, yeah.
and other people.
I'm just wondering, how
Other
did
people.
you?
Mhm.
Sorry for cutting you off. I was just wondering, how did you get into this like topic of conversation? I'm just like curious. Like, what's your
Well, that's a good
backstory with
question.
this?
That's a good question. I was a victim of circumcision, and it was a botched circumcision, so I have pain now every day that I live because of my circumcision, and I was assaulted by a doctor for speaking out against it, which,
Like physically
that's,
assaulted?
yeah, physically assaulted, and it left me with even more permanent pain. So, Dawson, I've been assaulted by doctors twice in my life. The most egregious assaults and degradation on my life have been from medical doctors, and they were both white men. I'm not making generalizations, but it's a big corrupt industry, Dawson. It's a
Oh
big corrupt
man, do you want me
industry.
to tell you, like, I know
Yes, tell
this is
me.
kind of not unrelated, but do you want me to tell you about a very similar situation that happened here?
Yes, yes,
Anyway,
please.
yeah, okay, well, this is kind of yeah. So, to do with medical corruption, for example, I found myself in a particularly tough time in my life, and I was addicted to a very strong designer benzodiazepine. It's called phenazolam. And anyway, I had complications because of it, trying to wean myself off. And when I went
Hmm.
to the emergency room, like I presented 3 times with really bad tachycardia, like really high heart rate
Hmm.
with chest pain, and the doctor there basically they rubber stamped me. They did an EKG. I was having heart like chest pain and angina, and they refused to retriage me. So I had to go back the next time and like show them like the actual like title in the law saying that they're legally required to do so. and it was pretty bad, man. Like the medical system where I live in rural Canada is very bad. There's
Dawson, it
the
sounds like you
waiting
had a
time is
reason to
terrible.
well, you had a reason to distrust the hi Tim and Dale, and it sounds like you had a reason to distrust the medical industry if you had an unnecessary circumcision. And I'm not saying it was, but Dawson, this happens all the time, and I'm glad you made it through that. But this happens all the time. Patients are regularly abused, and if we count all the men who are circumcised as infants, every man who is circumcised as an infant has been abused. It's child abuse. And that's why, anyway, that's why we're here. New people on the panel, Dale or Tim, do you guys want to add anything? Dawson had a circumcision at 9 because he had phimosis, and we don't know if it was 100% necessary. He lives in Canada, so I don't know if you guys want to address that.
Evan, wait. Mind if I ask you something?
Um,
I just
what?
want to have a discussion with
Why
you.
don't you ask Dawson about how he feels about the
Don't
medical
put
industry?
rape, put abuse in.
No, no, dude.
What do you define?
Rotate
What
out.
do you define as rape?
Abusing?
What do you
Oh,
define
he's
as
one of
rape?
those people. Oh my god. Okay, what, Dale?
I was just making fun of the way that guy spoke. Abusing.
Hey, so Evan, I'd be glad to address what you just said regarding Dawson's situation. You know, I don't know much about the medical system in Canada, but I know at least here in America, if a child does present with phimosis, doctors are very, in many cases, doctors are very quick to suggest or prescribe circumcision rather than exploring alternative, less invasive measures which are available. There's a device, I can't remember what it is, MK just mentioned it in the live earlier today, a device that you could buy on Amazon, and it's used to expand the foreskin, and it has a number of rings, and they get larger and larger, and you just start with a smaller one and use the larger and larger ones with like a steroid cream to make the foreskin larger. And that's a less invasive practice or method that a doctor could prescribe before taking the extreme measure of circumcision. And in America, MK mentioned that, like, in America, until maybe recently, but certainly many, certainly years ago up until recently, many anatomy textbooks that doctors used when they were studying to become doctors did not include an intact penis in them. So they didn't even know, what an intact penis looked like. And many of the doctors that became doctors were also circumcised as well. So whereas in Europe, they're not so quick to prescribe circumcision for phimosis.
No, I know this sounds kind of strange, but do you think there's maybe a agenda behind this? Perhaps like it might have something to do with unethical medical research
Yeah, so
or
if you look into
Zionism or
what the
anything of that
CIA was
nature?
doing in the 50s and 60s, the CIA did a study at what age would in the development of a child would be the most detrimental and cause the most castration anxiety. And the CIA determined
Oh
that
wait,
being a
yeah,
male
actually,
circumcision.
yeah, no, actually, I experienced something similar to that after I done my procedure. It's almost like losing. It's not like losing your identity, but it's like losing like something important. Like something's naturally gone. That's like, I don't know. It's a very strange feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it leads to a lot of feelings of inadequacy. It made me depressed as well. I never really understood why, but it just made me depressed.
Separation anxiety.
Yeah, it's also similar to like tonsils. Years ago, for me, again, in my case, when I was a kid, I had somewhat recurring sore throats or infections, and the doctors just immediately suggested having my tonsils removed, and that's exactly what my parents did. And whereas now, they don't resort to removing tonsils unless it's absolutely necessary. So the medical profession has learned over time, and I'm sure that eventually they will learn about this as well. It just unfortunately, it takes time because it's so highly ingrained in our society. We are a cutting culture.
And then Professor Cheeseskin lecturing about health. This is a problem that we face. That this appeal to cleanliness is based in Puritanism, and America's puritanical roots has a big role in this too. It's why traditions are really hard to get rid of, because they're based in religion here in the United States compared to like Europe got over the religious connection to their traditions. That's why they don't do circumcision, and they don't think it's a good idea. And the rest of the world thinks they're crazy for doing it. I don't know why they don't say it more often. but it's the puritanical roots based in Protestantism and this Harvey Kellogg guy who was just maybe completely nuts. Harvey Kellogg wanted to suppress male sexuality by doing routine infants, or he wanted to do circumcisions, and he wanted to mutilate women too. I don't know, Tim, if you know everything about Harvey, but he was pretty messed up, and people just took him at his word because he, for some reason, one reason or another, they just took him at his word to think that circumcision should be done at all. And then we have millions of men now who are suffering lifelong problems, sexual dysfunction. Circumcision as an infant causes sexual dysfunction. Even Dawson now, every man who's had this happen to him will have some form of dysfunction, even if they have some improvement for if they had a real medical need. And I'm not a doctor, but if you're a doctor in America and you're not speaking out against this, then I question your morals, I question your judgment, I question your motives, I question your agenda, I question the agenda of every medical provider in this country and person of responsibility who does not speak out against routine infant circumcision. I think they need to examine their morals, and we need to examine what we're doing to children in this country, because we would not be up here right now talking about this if this was not a serious issue affecting millions of men in this country. Anyway, Mas, or did anyone? Okay, Mas, are you there? Thank you for the likes, Wafa.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mas.
I don't think it's grape.
Nigger,
That's the
nigger,
problem.
nigger, nigger,
That's the
nigger,
problem,
nigger,
Mas.
nigger, 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 nigger,
Mas,
nigger.
this
I'm gonna
is
take your
this
ass. I'm
is
gonna take
this
your asshole. I'm gonna take your asshole. I'm gonna
this
take your
this this
asshole.
is
I'm
the
gonna take your
problem we
asshole. I'm
have.
gonna
This
take
is
your
the
asshole. This.
why did they wait for her to speak? I don't know, Mas. This is a problem we face though as men. Men are not routinely viewed as being able to be victims of grape. It's actually in the law in a lot of countries that men can't be victims of grape.
No, I think
I know what you think,
most of
that it's not
humanity
grape.
has an idea of what rape is. It's just
Yes.
forced sexual action.
I
Right.
guess it's based
That
on
is
like
not
the.
circumcision
I'm sorry.
is not that.
Yes. Well, how do you know that, Mas?
What is circumcision? That's
Yeah,
just the removal of the foreskin
how do
at
you know
birth,
it's not
right?
sexual in nature? How do you know that?
How do you know that it is? I guess
How do
I
you
would
know
ask.
that no, how do you know that the person doing it doesn't have a sexual agenda, or it relates to the sexual lives of the person it affects, or the
Wait,
way
that's
it's
just a
carried out? The
hypothetical.
way but you're saying the other opposite hypothetical though, Mas. Your position is that it's not sexual in nature, and that's why we do this, because we have to question the motives of the people defending it as if it's not sexual in nature, because that's a
Okay,
way
then
to
it
get
would be a
around. That's a way
hypothetical. You're making a
so are you, Mas. So you're making the opposite hypothetical, that the people doing this do not have a sexual nature in it. But if you're mutilating a child, I'm not giving you that deference, and I don't owe you that deference, Mas.
what?
So you're
Words have definition.
yes, they do have definition. I'm glad you're here to help you get work through this, the difference between your hypothetical and mine. Mine just happens to protect children. Yours just happens to abuse them. That's the difference here. So I'm not saying I'm the best moral guy in the world. No, I don't know who is, but I know that on this issue, I have moral clarity where you lack it, Moss. I'm just going to put that out there. But we have 3 people requesting up, and I want to thank Moss. I want to thank Moss for coming up. By the way, if Dawson or Tim or anyone can chime in, because I don't have any mods up right now, and there's a lot of people. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, she's not there anymore. But I was going to say, if you look up the definition of grape, it says any schmexual, insertion or penetration without consent. And then if you look up schmexual penetration, it says any penetration of the schmexual organs. So it has nothing to do with to some degree, it has nothing to do with the intent of the person doing it. Any penetration of that part of the body could be considered grape.
I just want to bring up a fact, guys. The fact that you guys are saying there's no lack of consent on an infant, what about the people that are piercing kids' ears at the age of 3 months old?
I disagree with that too. Totally disagree with that too. Yep.
Yeah, we're consistent.
It's absolutely ridiculous that you guys think that you guys have a right to say what a parent can do. Evan, do you have kids?
So am I allowed to consent to my child to be schmurdered, Proud?
Or tattooed?
What?
Or branded?
What does that have to do with you having a child?
Answer the question. Answer the question, Proud. Am I
No,
off
you do
base?
not have consent to your child being
Then why would
murdered.
you?
No.
Then why would you have consent to a lesser crime of them being raped?
That's not giving a circumcision to a child has nothing to do with grape. It actually
How do you
helps
know
the
that?
child
How do you
grow
know that,
better.
Proud? How do you know that?
Because I'm looking up the thing right now on it.
Proud, I'm so glad you're here, Proud, because people like you is why I do this.
Functional
these
law.
lives. Proud,
So the medical argument in risk and benefit.
The medical argument says money, 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 not health, health, health. The medical argument says money, 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 and not health, health, health.
You're a disgrace.
Okay, I'm a disgrace to human.
Don't let me
Okay,
tell
great.
my damn story.
Great. He's doing the character attack thing.
As
He's doing
someone
the
who
character
actually
attack.
had a botched circumcision.
I had one too, man. That's why I do this. Yeah, I'm
It was
sorry that
botched.
happened. Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
good.
That
It's
sucks.
good.
We're here to support you, dude. You just send me a follow, send him a follow. Dawson's here. We're all victims.
Oh
dude.
no, it's good. I got a good doctor and he fixed that shit. But
Okay, well, if it has happened to an infant, I think you were raped.
oh, I agree.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I try not to be mad about it just because I'm one of the lucky ones that had the doctor to fix it. But it does irritate me, and I would have been fine just not being natural.
Yes, you would have been way better, and that's why we're trying to get routine infant circumcision banned in the United States, because it provides no medical benefit and it only destroys men's sexual lives. That's all it does. So if the government's complaining about fertility dropping and like why men end up on the streets or in prison with all these problems, it's because we're torturing them as infants. And I get so much hate thrown at me, but we have a big support group now for male victims of circumcision, which is great, that we can talk to other people about it and raise awareness of this. If you're watching the live right now, you need to tell your lawmakers or your neighbors or whoever you can tell that we need to ban male infant circumcision and the dick cheese argument. Does anyone want to talk about that?
Called clean your dick. Learn how to clean your shit.
Yeah. It's like saying
God wouldn't make our bodies that way.
We should remove our toes so we don't get toe jam. We should remove our ears so we don't get earwax. We should remove our noses so we don't get runny noses. That is the same argument they're making for routine infant circumcision. That you should remove a body part so you don't have to clean it. That's crazy.
And where Bug Powder Dust said parents are damned if they do, damned if they don't. That's not true. Go ahead, Dawson. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. No, it's fine. There's also the argument along with like tonsil stones and stuff like that, like recurrent infections, especially bacterial ones, really reactive to just like simple things like salt water. Like if you just rinse your mouth with salt and like gargle the salt, it'll help with like tonsillitis if it's not viral. That's just something that's true, and people like doctors.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Tell you that you need like all kinds of antibiotics. Like you could.
So how is it rape when the
Gargle
majority
salt
of the male
accidentally.
population in the U.S. is circumcised?
Just because the majority of the male pop, well, first of all, that's let's assume that's true. But no, it's all good. So let's assume that's true. Just because the majority of the men in America are circumcised doesn't make it right. Yeah, right, and I'm glad to hear that. And you're perhaps one of the very lucky ones that don't. You're also, by the sound of your voice, you may be a bit on the younger side, and hopefully you'll never have a problem, because sometimes the problems don't develop until middle age. But there's also, you also only know what you know. So, for example, someone who's born colorblind never knows the joy of seeing color, just as someone who is circumcised never knows what it's like, the additional pleasure and experience that you can have by being intact. And I'm circumcised too. I don't mind telling people that, and I wish I wasn't. I didn't have a choice in the matter, and I'm more than glad to share my experience and share resources about the issue.
Kane, we're here to support. Okay, he left. Some of them just want to see what is on their mind, and
they come, they eat, they go.
Yeah, Gene.
Hey, Aren't there like bigger problems to talk about? I mean, not to be dismissive.
Isn't this a fallacy? This is some kind of fallacy where you're not allowed to talk about issues because someone's going to police you about what you're talking about. It sounds like is that fascism? What is this?
Well,
What's
user. There, no, I mean, you're not the only person that has that thought or feeling, and it's not that this problem is greater or less than other problems. It's a different problem, and because it affects so many men, millions and millions of men, many people do consider it to be one of the greatest problems on Earth. But yes,
Okay.
you're not the only person to have this. I mean, like 1/3 of the world's men are circumcised. So it's
I guess because I'm not. Yeah, I just didn't
hundreds of
understand that
millions.
this is a problem.
Well, it's a false dichotomy. It's a whataboutism because it relies on a false dilemma, falsely implying you cannot care about or solve a problem, both a similar and large issue simultaneously. So, user, why are we not allowed to care about more than one problem at a time?
No, we definitely are, and you have a very professional way of talking about this.
Okay, then why did you come up here with that attitude that you're not? There's bigger problems.
I was genuinely asking a question. I'm like, well, this is odd.
Okay, well, if you're genuinely asking, then I'm genuinely happy you asked.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
So what he's talking about though is a whataboutism. What about this or that? It's like, what about them? If you have an issue that is important to you, man, I definitely want to hear about it right now. So what's the bigger issue?
I'm good. I just wanted to pop in and ask that question. No worries.
Okay. Responding to a complaint about pothole repacing. What about the bridge that's collapsing? Well, do you want the pothole repix and the bridge collapsed, or do you want both? Because you can have both. We could talk about circumcision, all the problems in the world, but this is not the life to do it in, unless you wanted to. So, anyway, send me a follow if you're here. Send me a follow, and none of your business. I don't disagree, but I wouldn't want my son bullied for my decision. And then, can we talk about the bullying aspect of circumcision? How this is like a number one, I don't know, maybe the number one reason why boys get bullied in school? That's a problem too. If you want to end bullying in school, this is no tolerance for bullying. Well, then stop circumcising boys. Or like
No, I was gonna say, Evan, you're right, and actually, what I wanted to mention earlier but didn't because it wasn't the right time is that approximately, the national circumcision rate right now in America is hovering around 50%. It might even be slightly lower than 50%, and it's going to continue to decline as it has for the last, for the last 5 decades. It was in the 60s and 70s. It was as high as 80% nationally, and now it's down to around 50%. So with every passing year, it's going to get lower and lower, and eventually the tides will turn, and the number of boys that are circumcised will become the minority. And then those boys that are circumcised will get teased because they've been cut.
Yes. Well, honestly, other countries should be teasing us because we do cut. And talking about like the cleanliness, if you're saying like a cleanliness freak, that is bullying.
Correct. And kids, and unfortunately, children, and unfortunately, as we know, as adults, especially as parents, kids are going to get bullied and teased. It's
for any
unfortunate
reason.
For any number of many reasons. It's an unfortunate fact of life, and to use that as an excuse to cut off a healthy part of your son's penis, it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Someone new Liberty. Or Gene? Are you there?
Hi guys.
Evan, you probably don't even know what rape
here.
is. You should get a job too.
Gene, how old are you? Oh, Gene gone.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do have a job, dude. I have many jobs, many roles.
It's not easy. We'll help each other.
Marchie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. How's everybody doing today?
Wonderful.
Yeah, we're good, thanks.
So I scrolled past this and I just had to entertain it. I'm curious to see what the stances are here. And also, are there words that we can and cannot say? Considering this is about private regions, I'm sure that there are some sensitive words here that we can't say.
It's not private, it's public information that circumcision is a for-profit
No, your
industry.
private region. You put your.
But we're talking about public tax dollars now. You're assuming because it's a private region, we're not allowed to talk about it.
No. I'm sorry. I hate to cut you off here. I was just asking if there was any words that I can or cannot say considering this conversation.
You can say penis. You can say foreskin. Testicles.
You could say grape.
My bad. I'm laughing for another reason. I'm watching TV
I was talking about the fact that people,
bastard. What's your problem?
act
I'm
like this
circumcised,
because this is affecting a part of your body that people.
You're a prick.
Is sensitive. It's a sensitive topic. That doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. It's important that we talk about it, and that's the problem with it. Is that people because they see it as a sensitive topic, they don't want to talk about it. They get squeamish. So it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anyone by pretending like it's not an issue either. It just makes.
I heard you.
You know who it does help? It helps the people doing it. If we don't talk about it, it helps the people doing it get away with it, and that's what we don't want.
So can I ask specifically why you're against circumcision?
Because it creates sexual dysfunction. It could lead to loneliness in men. It's a mutilation of their bodies. It's a human rights abuse. It's unconstitutional. It's abuse of power. It's everything.
Wait, it's unconstitutional.
Yes.
Circumcision is usually done in terms of religious purposes for Christians and Jewish.
It's still
folks.
unconstitutional to do it.
No, but that's your freedom of religion, brother.
No, it's not because you can't.
That's your First Amendment
no,
right.
It's not because your freedom of religion only doesn't extend to other people. It only extends to your own personal beliefs. You cannot carve your religion into your. You cannot carve your religion into your child, because if you're saying the freedom of religion it condones violence, and that means that 9/11 was a freedom of religion act, and we would never accept that because we know it's an attack on liberty, which is why it said it's unconstitutional. So your argument that it's a religious act does not hold up to constitutional scrutiny, dude. Don't be ridiculous. The founders would never write a constitution and then say, "Oh, you can get away with around every single rule if you just cloak it in religion." So don't be ridiculous, dude. Don't be smart about it, because it's not fun. It's not fun to debate people who think they're smart about this.
I mean, I'm not smart about this, to be quite frank with you. I've never had a debate about circumcision, sir.
Good.
I've never debated about somebody's ditchies or their dead hoodie. Like, that's none of my business, because at the end of the day, that is your religious freedom. That's your freedom of choice, freedom of anything on your body. You get to choose whatever you want to do as an adult. The parent gets to choose the life of the child. It is for health and hygiene. I'm not going to ask who is and isn't circumcised here, because I don't want to know. But if you want to make that information public, by all means. But what I'm getting at is, how do you wash in there, and that's your first thought that this is going to lead to sexual dysfunction in my life?
So, Marchie, Evan, if you don't mind, I'd like to just comment on
brother.
Yeah, so Marchie, a couple things. So you brought up two separate issues. You brought up freedom of religion and hygiene. I'd like to address those separately. Well,
Go ahead.
We'll address freedom of religion first, since you brought that one up first. So yeah, you're right. We in America, we do value freedom of religion, but like Evan said, that applies to each individual. We do not have, it does not give us the right to impose our religion on someone else, especially not without their consent, and especially not in doing it in an irreversible way. So when you circumcise a child, and actually whether it's a male or female, because we oppose female genital mutilation as well, when you do that in the name of religion, you're not giving that child the chance to choose their own religion. You're making that choice for them. It's a permanent, irreversible change of their body that they did not consent to. And so that's why the freedom of religion argument falls apart.
To be fair, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, that's you didn't cut me off. I stopped. Go ahead.
Consent doesn't really apply to that child, because everything that they do is under their parents' purview.
It does. I understand that thought.
No, that's legal. That's not like anything moral or anything. That's just like
you are 100% correct that it is legal. And until 1996, female genital mutilation was also legal in America. But we, as a national society of people, decided that female genital mutilation should not be legal, and we passed laws to ban it. And that's what we're talking about doing right now is laws have been proposed to ban circumcision in America. They just haven't been passed yet because we are a cutting culture. We've been cutting baby boys for like 100 years, and it takes time for the population to learn about the procedure and educate themselves, and then realize that we're harming children without their consent.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Oh, go ahead, boss.
Honestly, I have a couple things to say, but I want to know: is this like a satire, like alive?
It's not a satire. This is serious. It is alive and it's serious.
Okay,
and there's
well,
a second thing. So, Marchie, just want to go back before before you take the floor for a moment, and I do want you to contribute because I know you. But,
are you upset that you lost a little bit of an inch of your dicky?
So, Marchie, Montana, the second thing you brought up was hygiene, and that's also a myth or a misconception that people think that being uncircumcised you'll be dirty or unhygienic or you'll have dick cheese or whatever, and that's not the case.
Can I say something real quick? Just because you are uncircumcised doesn't mean it immediately makes you dirty. You have a higher chance to miss dirt spots because you have extra folds of skin. It's not saying that like you're immediately filthy, but being circumcised does help with future hygiene, especially in kids that don't know how to properly wash themselves.
This is
right, and it's parents' responsibility to teach children. It's parents' responsibility to teach children how to wash themselves. It takes less than 1 second for a child to clean his penis.
It does not take less than 1 second for a child to learn a lesson from their parent.
Okay, Maverick.
Okay.
Do you have foreskin?
I just want to know how it's great.
What was the question? My bad. I heard my name and I just needed to rest.
Wait, kids. We're not getting into people's personal lives.
Sorry.
Because we don't need to know if he's circumcised or no. Kids, please.
I didn't hear the question.
He is making an appeal to. I didn't want to jump in here because I didn't want to, so I'm not going to.
Thank you,
Was there
Evan,
a question for me in there? I'm sorry. I heard my name and nothing else.
Marchie Montana's comment.
What was that? Sorry. When you were talking in Activist, I was over here just on Google. I know it's an AI overview. I don't really like these things either, considering how people ask Grok everything on Twitter. But this is a pretty concise way of just saying that the foreskin isn't essential and there aren't any true medical benefits to having it, and that it is actually medically more healthy for you to have no foreskin than it is to have foreskin.
W looking that up. Also, I heard earlier in the live that you were talking about kids being bullied about being ostracized for being uncircumcised.
Why are you looking for propaganda that supports the rape?
That's not propaganda, brother. That's a
okay. I'm sorry.
That's pseudoscience, dude.
What
you're
you're
too
doing
stupid
is you're
to even do research.
Well, I don't think there's a reason to call people names if we're trying to have a respectful live.
Well, then don't apologize for grape, and we can be respectful to each other.
Well, it's not.
Don't apologize.
So why should
stop it. No, Mav, I want you to
respectful
stop.
to low IQ idiots that don't know how to critically think.
If you want to talk about critically thinking and logic from your perspective, if a child could benefit from surgery or from a procedure that could make their life easier in the short run,
it doesn't benefit them though.
Yo, Evan.
So Maverick, when you look something up on the internet and use AI, all it's doing is it's just gathering information that's already on the internet. And if a good percentage of the information on the internet is incorrect, then of course it's going to feed you incorrect information. So
Evan,
you're not the first person to think this.
Yo, Evan. Is he there? Oh, all right. I just want to know, what does uncircumcised baby benefit?
That's my bad, guys.
Someone was trying to dox me.
It's actually not uncircumcised. It's called intact.
Yeah, intact.
And they benefit by keeping their complete penis.
Okay, what do they
the benefits are the 16 functions and 15 square inches of highly innervated tissue.
So like,
The
what
ones
is that?
that
What,
make you more
okay,
And
so
the
like, what do you
valve at
benefit
the end
from?
of the foreskin allows for your regular, normal, natural urination. There's a valve at the end of the foreskin. That's where the urination comes out.
So I'm not like to say that I'm uncircumcised, but hypothetically, if I'm uncircumcised, you're telling me my pee doesn't come out the right way?
What? It's
No, it's saying the
intact
opposite. But
or
My
circumcised.
bad. So if my PP is intact,
You know what he means,
I'll
lady.
go pee better. That's what I'm hearing.
Right, yeah.
I'm pissing just
it's
fine
around
right
5 to
now.
20% of circumcised males have
Because
injected
you would have
forces.
a more natural stream, basically.
So if I look that
I
up
mean,
and
I
take
piss perfectly
instead of
fine.
taking you for your word, Miss Megan, that's what I'm gonna find.
You can study the pee streams between intact and circumcised.
No,
They
I
don't
know
want to
how to
do
read
that. They
academic
don't want to
journals and all
do
that.
that
I'm
study.
educated. Yeah, I went to college. I got my master's. I can look this stuff up. Give me one second.
Oh, sorry. By the way, we were talking and I either muted myself or was muted, so I apologize for that. But as I was saying earlier, you were saying that being uncircumcised could ostracize children. My question is, why would they be ostracized if it's a part that it's a private part? It's not like that's in the name. It would.
Sorry, I muted the wrong person. But if
You're good.
You guys, someone has some background noise.
If it sounds like little taps, it's my dog walking around. But if it's not, then
No, it was someone's outside.
Yeah, it may have been me. Sorry about that, Evan. Sorry.
It's all good. Go
I've
ahead,
got one
man.
other thing to add to what Maverick said.
What's that?
Like, no one would be ostracized if it was banned because no one is different. Everyone will have the same type of genitalia.
Well, that's my question: is how would you be ostracized? Are you talking? Do you think kids just walk out with their dong out, and the other kids are like, "Oh my God, you're uncircumcised. You can't talk to me."
Get around, just like when we were kids in school, the word would get around if somebody was intact. And if
No, it
we
wouldn't.
have more
what
kids that
school
are
do you
left
go to
intact
where a kid?
and fewer kids that are cut, then yeah, the parents should be worried that they're going to be ostracized, but the intact kids shouldn't be ostracized and made fun of for being intact, which that's
My
what every
question
parent
remains:
is
is
worried
that
about.
you're saying just like in school where word got around? I don't know what school you went to, but nobody is like, "Hey guys, I took a peek at
In my
Evan and he's
generation,
circumcised."
most of the men were cut, and it did get around if you were intact.
Anyway, we need to get some new people on the
But
panel.
anyways,
I really don't appreciate being muted in the live when I'm trying to.
Get out of the live, Maverick. If you don't like it, get out.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying it's not fair that you
the
mute
way
me
you're
when
communicating, Maverick, is not
spread my
very-
own opinion like you're doing. If you're
okay, forget it. I tried.
asking.
I don't know if I'm next, but before I go, that link that I posted in there, the Cedar Sinai article.
They make money off of it, dude. Did it occur to you that they're
No,
saying
no,
these things
no,
because they make
I
money
was-
off it?
I was
No,
gonna-
no. I want you to answer this question. Did it? You're on mute.
Okay.
Did it occur
To
to
the
you?
girl who was
Did it?
just talking,
Yes,
like,
Tyler.
why are we pro body shaming? Like, what the heck?
Evan, you said you wanted me to ask her a question.
Why does it occur to you that these people will say anything to protect themselves from scrutiny, including that it's good for you? That's rapist words, man. He liked it. She liked it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut
It's
you off
okay.
because you rudely cut me
No,
off.
no, no, no,
So,
no, no,
no,
no,
and
no,
continue.
no, no, no,
In continuation to what?
No. Anyway. Raven, are you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just joined. Can you explain what your thought process on this is to me real quick?
That 3,000 boys a day are getting raped by medical providers that are profiting off of their suffering. And they're saying anything to protect themselves, including that rape is good for the child.
yeah, and it's a human rights violation, and it just keeps on happening. Nobody, yeah.
I will say I get where you're coming from. Do you agree with the health benefits of it, or do
No.
do you know the health benefits of it?
There are no health benefits of it.
There
I know the
is.
claims benefits.
There is not.
There
is only
Can
one
I
health.
speak instead of being told there's not?
Yeah,
There
Raven.
isn't,
there's
but
only
you can
one
go ahead
health
and
benefit
speak.
you can point
try.
to. There's only one health benefit that you can point to, which is a lower rate of STDs. But I would ask you,
No, there's
why do
actually
we care about STDs for children? Because children shouldn't be having sex. So they would only be in adulthood, which is when they should be able to be
that has
allowed
nothing
to
to do
make
with
that
what
choice.
that has nothing to do with what the benefit I was going to talk about was.
So what was
What
your
is your
benefit? You're talking
benefit?
about what, smegma?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just
Smegma
wash your
is
ass.
normal.
Yeah,
So you
for
shouldn't
men and
you
women.
shouldn't remove
smegma
your
is
butt
not.
cheeks, right?
Smegma is not. The normal
Raven,
yeast
Smegma
is
is normal. It's a part of your body, and you just wash it off. The same way that you have plaque on your teeth. You wouldn't remove someone's teeth because
the
you don't want them to
real
have plaque.
but the real definition of smegma, like
It's a
smegma,
buildup
is
of skin and
correct.
mucus and dead.
Correct.
Yes,
But
which you can
smegma
wash
means that
off.
it's in a harder form. That's my point. Smegma is
Which you
the
can
harder
wash off. The
calcified
same thing
version.
with calcified plaque. You
But
can get rid of it.
you're missing the problem. You're getting rocks basically inside of your penis.
You are not getting rocks. As someone who is completely and intact, I have never in
I'm
my
not-
life had a single instance of even a buildup of any dead skin under my
And that's
foreskin
good
because
'cause
I
you clean it
shower
properly.
regularly.
And
I
that's
would
good,
not
you
tell
clean
you,
it
Raven.
properly.
I would not tell you, Raven, that you need to remove your breast because underneath your boobs stink, bro. What the fuck are we talking about?
Your logic does not make sense there,
Your
but I do
logic,
get where you're
Raven,
coming
I'm
from.
actually going to agree with Tyler here because your logic.
I get where
actually
he's
doesn't-
coming from.
But Tyler, Raven, we're.
I wouldn't tell
we're
you,
not
Raven, that you need to remove
shaming
your
you.
teeth because you might get
Raven,
a cavity.
cavities, yes.
I truly do understand where you guys are coming
But you
from.
don't.
I
But you
genuinely
don't
just
want.
want to.
You genuinely want to keep this in your head that it was okay to have this happen to maybe someone you know. Is this personal for you? Because we're not shaming the parents. We're shaming the medical industry from profiting
No, I agree
off
with
of this
you.
mutilation. Okay, awesome. Timmy, are you there? No, that's it. That's Raven. That's all you have to do. Now everyone loves each other. Raven, see how easy that was.
Well, no, I didn't mean for it to come off like I was
Oh
trying
damn! Oh shit! We got another grape apologist. I'm sorry, Raven. Did you
No,
want to
I-
continue to apologize for graping?
No, that's not what
infants?
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I didn't.
That's
mean
not what
for
you
it to
meant, but
come
that's
out
what's
like I was
happening.
attacking
It's like,
y'all.
so do you have a problem with kids getting raped or not, Raven?
Obviously, but
Okay, then great.
could
Then
I-
you're against circumcision because it's grape.
And
Don't-
then-
Hey,
Raven,
I
Raven,
just
you
want to point
mentioned
out
rocks.
too.
Raven,
Could
you
I-
mentioned rocks. What are you? Can you elaborate on these rocks that develop under the foreskin?
Yeah, I'm about to
And
go
I think-
mining.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're
Healing
talking
I
about.
did talk about that.
They're healing
Smegma, when
crystals,
it's left-
Tim.
No,
Yeah,
I know, I
did
just
talk
wanted to
about
hear-
that when it's.
I have a question.
I want to hear what she had to say because she
What
called
she's
them
actually
rocks.
referring to is
Yeah,
horses.
calcified. Yeah,
He's referring to
it happens
horses
humans
because
too.
that happens to horses because
It
they have
happens
a
to
higher
humans as
rate
well.
of calcium in their urine, which leads to calcified smegma underneath a horse's foreskin,
You wouldn't
not a
circumcise
man's.
a horse, but yeah, do it to a little infant.
And in very rare
We do not
instances,
cut horses.
Raven,
Yeah.
in very rare instances, that can occur in little boys whose foreskin has not retracted on its own yet. And if and when it does happen, doctors can take care of it without completely circumcising the child.
Yes,
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, good.
I agree
What
with
else?
what you're saying. I was just saying that it sounded like you guys were trying to say that that was not a possibility at all.
But it's all the supposed problems or medical reasons for doing circumcision are the minority, and they can all be handled with less invasive methods. So,
And
for example,
proper intact care and not allowing anyone to force retract your intact son.
Correct. And if
Okay.
a child does get a UTI, we prescribe an antibiotic. We don't cut off a part of their living body.
The risk is
Okay, I like that.
If you
I like
tried
that
to-
wording a million times better.
And then the reason we don't do the moon today is you'd never be able to sell the risk to any taxpayer now. And because we've become such a risk-averse society that we think circumcision is okay, when in fact we have to take the risk of doing something, of letting it happen, because if we don't know what we're even doing. It's like
It also
we have
it doesn't
we have to
acknowledge
let things be.
the teeth analogy
I have a
is
question when you guys get a chance, though.
the teeth analogy is what works best because it also doesn't acknowledge that, like, yes, absolutely, if you remove someone's teeth, they wouldn't have a buildup of plaque, but it doesn't acknowledge that you're removing a part of a person's body and then all of the negative health effects that then come from that. So if you were to then say that there might be this vague benefit. Whoever's in the fucking shed, can you mute up, please? Like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we're like rocking stone out here mining all that foreskin jewels or whatever. But if you say that there is some kind of minor benefit of circumcision, which there you might be able to prove, it doesn't matter because there's a whole negative cavalcade of negative health benefits. So you can't sit here and say that there might be a reduction of smegma or there might be a reduction of STDs when you're not acknowledging that how many more negative health benefits. For example, one of those negative effects is death of the newborn. You're doing a surgery on them. They can bleed out, they can go into shock, or they can get an infection and just be
Say that's
unalive.
only if the medical professional is doing it in a dumb way. If they do it correctly, there shouldn't be.
But there's still a chance of them unaliving.
Raven,
There's no doing it correctly. It's a human rights violation.
And
There's
it's grape.
no doing it
Raven
correctly.
doesn't care that it's grape.
There's no correct way to
it keeps
mutilate
flying
someone.
over her head.
I'm confused on how you guys are connecting this to that.
We know you're confused. That's
I'm
very
trying to get an
obvious.
explanation, and y'all just keep talking over me.
Because
and
it's
talking
the
about
removal of
everything.
it is forcibly sexualizing a child from birth.
How is it sexualizing?
Because one of the primary reasons that you would say that you want this done is a reduction of STDs, but a child is not going to be engaging in any sex act in order to get an STD.
Or you want to look like your dad.
And you're taking an internal organ and you're making it external for life.
You're doing a body modification on their sexual organ. It is
And
innately
it's
sexual.
half of a pinky size. That's the size that you're operating
Fair,
on.
but the organ itself does not represent sex.
Okay, I've got
What do you
two
mean?
different arguments for
Your
this.
genitals don't represent sex. Okay.
It's a little baby masculine.
Yeah, the
unit.
part
What
of
do you
your
mean?
body
That
for
does
reproduction
represent
does not
sex.
represent
That's his
sex.
sex
I'm
organ.
saying just because your body part is there does not mean.
She's one of like.
Well, no, then you would agree,
Is my
Raven.
clitoris not my sex organ? What do you mean it
Well, no,
doesn't
Raven.
represent
Then you
sex?
would agree with us. Then you would agree that it shouldn't be sexualized then from birth.
Yes, that's my point. You guys are missing my point on that. Is that it's not sexual. It's not in a sexual.
How do you know that,
Well,
Raven?
when they
You're
make the
assuming-
little baby dick hard before they circumcise it, they are literally making it sexual.
That's not how they do it, girlfriend.
Yeah, they do.
Raven, you don't know what you're talking about, Raven. You're
was in the
assuming that
room.
people.
I was in the
Raven,
room
I'm gonna. That's disgusting. I'm sorry that you're a part of this. We have people in society who just are never gonna understand that they're monsters and that they're doing evil things to children, and it's a fact of life. That's why we have like the people that we do in this country doing things that they're doing is because there are people who legit just do not know the difference between right and wrong. No matter how many ways we try to explain it, they're just never gonna get it. It's like trying to teach a kid algebra. It's like some of them, they're just not going to get it. They're not going to get it. No matter how many times you tell them. Anyway, Timmy, are you there?
Yeah. So we're talking about infants in particular, or just circumcision is great in general?
Well, no, it would be circumcision on infants being great because circumcision in a vacuum is not great because you can voluntarily get it done to you, and that's not. Once you're an adult, of course, right? Like you can make a body modification and that not be, but it being done to children is an act of rape by force.
So, in your opinion, what's the right age to get a circumcision then?
None, but unless you medically need it, there's no right age because the age shouldn't matter. It's only based on your medical necessity. The same way that I would tell you, like, there's no right age for you to get your ears removed or to get an arm removed or your foot cut off for diabetes. There's no right age for that because you might need that at 10, 20, 50, 60, 80. It all depends on when it's medically necessary, but it should never be being done before 18 because you're making a body modification to someone's body without their consent.
And it really should just never be done, period, because it harms you to do it.
Yes. Only if it's medically necessary where your body is absolutely like breaking down and you're gonna blow up basically if you don't get this shit done.
Which is like highly unlikely.
0.1% of 1%.
Doesn't it say like it lowers cancer though, like the risk of cancer?
Timmy, wait. Timmy, you would reduce your risk of cancer, brain cancer, if you remove the brain of an infant. Why don't we just remove the brain of the infant to reduce the risk of?
Or no women would ever have breast cancer if we just removed their mammary glands from birth.
So that answers. I don't want him to double down on this. I want him to get new people up. Okay.
Can
Jack.
can I
Oh
ask
yeah,
something?
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I just dropped in, and when I dropped in, I was a little confused.
Can please? It's okay. Just tell us what you wanted to say.
Yeah. Are y'all saying that this is not a choice?
No, it's not a choice.
Right.
No, yeah.
No,
How does a
no, no,
baby
no.
choose?
The parents, like, it's not the medical choice. It's the parents'
It's
choice,
not their
right?
Well, the
No, it's
medical
not the
industry is
parents'
choosing it for the
choice. No
for the
baby ever
parent.
consented to a
Right.
circumcision.
Right. That
No
it's
baby
not
ever can consent because they're a
right.
baby.
The
But
only
it's
people
not the
consenting.
medical field
No, they are
choice.
consenting to it. They're the only ones consenting to it. They're the only one performing it. They're the only ones saying that it's good because they're making money off of it. So they are
We've
the
had
only people
enough of
consenting it.
circumcision, okay? We've had enough.
Yes, we've had our fill of this horrible.
Yeah, and you
We've
can't
had
act like
enough of circumcision. We're done with circumcision.
it's old. It's a Bronze Age practice that needs to be removed. We don't need to be doing
Wait,
ancient surgeries.
why am I not allowed to bring grape into this discussion? If I'm a man who, like many men who have a botched
You
procedure.
can and you should.
Yes, Megan, this is very obvious because men are either going to suffer pain their whole life, or the person doing it is a predator, or it's just you're just doing it because it fits the textbook definition. Like, how narrow or broad of a scope does this definition of grape need to be? Apparently, people just don't care about men. That's the
Exactly.
vibe I get.
That is the vibe and that is the truth. And until it is literally stopped worldwide, I don't think men are going to ever really be able to relax. Because, I mean, how can you relax in a world that is doing this to you?
I can't. I sleep like 3 hours a night.
Yeah, none
It's
of y'all
horrible.
can sleep. Y'all can't be comfortable in a world that does this.
How would you be able to be comfortable in your body when you've had it a forced
You can
edit
never
from
be
birth?
comfortable in your own body. How is this happening? Like, every day I wake up, it's the same reality. I'm tired of it. Just
like,
don't see how this is real. Like, this is unreal.
And I think it leads to serious disruptions in male development. There's so many things we ascribe to
Well,
boys
and then
only.
you can't trust your own mother. You can't trust anyone. You should be able to trust your mother in that way, and knowing that
There are people in the chat who are like, I don't want my
feminine
body to be
lady
natural.
and didn't abandon you. That's abandonment issue. Just so deep, and the men are hurting and the women are hurting because a lot of women just don't even understand it.
There's so many medical apologists because what incentive do they have to come clean and be like, yeah, we raped millions of children? What incentive do they have to do that? I think they have a lot of incentive because the sooner the better.
The sooner the better. Just get rid of it, be done with it, move on, and start allowing men to actually heal. Because nobody cares. They should have therapy, even if it's talking with AI. I don't care. I mean, something, you know?
Absolutely. Evelyn, are you there?
Yes.
Are you 18 or up?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Okay, go ahead.
So, what constitutes rape?
It's penetration. And that's the circumcision probe is the first step that they do is penetration. The circumcision probe is a tool that they use when they're starting this. It doesn't matter what circumcision type you get.
And are they doing that to please the child? Or like get some type of sexual gratification?
No, they're doing
from
it to
doing it?
please the parents.
Yeah, Evelyn, you can be raped without it being sexual, right? Someone can do it to you to humiliate you.
Yeah, but
or
rape
to punish you.
specifically requires penetration.
But Evelyn,
and that's what circumcision is.
Like, I'm
it's
not
penetration.
disagreeing that circumcision
Yeah, you are.
isn't
You're trying to
sexual
downplay-
violence, but I'm just
Evelyn,
saying I don't
you're
think
assuming-
it's
Well, there's no
specific
but
rape.
after that. You just
Evelyn,
said you agree it's sexual
go ahead, Tim.
violence.
Tim,
How
go
can you
ahead.
say but after that?
So Evelyn, you may not be familiar.
It's
Evelyn,
penetration.
hold on 1 second, Megan. Evelyn, you may not be familiar with how the process works. The circumcision. The very first step that the doctor, or practitioner, Moyle, whoever performs the circumcision, the very first step they do is they insert a blunt object in between the in between the foreskin and the head of the penis, because they have to separate the foreskin from the head of the penis because it's attached just like your fingernail is attached to your finger. So they put the blunt object in, they insert it in between the foreskin and the head of the penis, and then they rotate it around the head of the penis to completely tear the foreskin away from the head of the penis. And then they insert a clamp to protect the head of the penis and to crush the skin so that when they make the final cut with a scalpel, the child doesn't bleed excessively. And I use the word excessively in quotes because it's not a necessary procedure to begin with. But regardless, they put a clamp on the baby boy's penis, and then after they wait a few moments, then they cut the foreskin off with a scalpel, and then they remove the clamp. And so the grape part is the insertion of the blunt object in between the foreskin and the head of the penis. And if you look up the definition of grape on the internet, it says any unwanted, non-consensual, insertion, penetration of a quote unquote sexual part of your body, and the penis is of course a sexual part of the body, and that's what constitutes grape.
And can you now admit that it is?
I mean, I never said there's nothing to admit really, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay, good.
There's no the intent of the person performing it does not come into play in regard to the definition, because otherwise many people that intentionally perform grape, they could claim that they were doing it in the best interest of the other person, which obviously is not the case.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and also doctors.
That was good. Thank you.
We don't know the intent of the doctor, so a doctor could be doing this from a medical benefit, or a doctor could be just a creepy pedo who's doing this because they're a pedo.
We figured out the intent doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or a doctor could be
I
of
was
a
just trying to
particular
figure out
religion.
how it
That's
was.
Tim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They could be a religious person, and that's why consequentialism, I know this is philosophical, but consequentialism would say that it's also attempted murder because we're looking at the possible end results of doing this, which includes unaliving the child. So if we want to take this to the next level, it's not only grape, it's attempted murder, which I completely agree with. If I was a judge, I'd be like, we're applying the most deference we can to the victims, which is using the highest level of consequentialism, which is where you're allowed to look at the outcome of a situation
I
to
agree.
decide. Yeah, Megan, you understand this
Yeah,
stuff.
I definitely agree, but nobody wants to put it at that level of a charge.
We should, because what else are we supposed to do?
Well, I think we're gonna have to first just ban it, and then from that moment when it's banned, if you go outside the line, then you will be held to the fullest extent of the law. I don't think it's ever going to be banned if we are saying, oh, all y'all are going to be fucked for it, basically. Then nobody's going to want to ban it because nobody wants to go to jail.
And
What
a way
the
we
I don't
can
think it'll
all
ever
push
be
for
banned
this.
because it's directly tied to religion.
I think there's a way that we can ban this.
Well, that's
is,
another problem.
Yeah, a way that we can all push for this to be banned is in your own states. There's a thing under the 14th Amendment called equal protection under the law, where women in the United States would be protected from female genital mutilation. So if someone wanted to forcibly do that to a woman from birth, they would not be able to do that, right? So because of equal protection under the law, you would then just apply that to men. That's what the whole point of equal protection is.
I had to get a
for.
little more legal about it, but even easier than that. It's simply unconstitutional. It doesn't even need an amendment. The Constitution guarantees liberty, and the Constitution also says the state cannot forcibly take something from you. And that's an unconstitutional act without due process. There is no due process. And why is the government
So
implicated?
do you think... I'm sorry. Do you think every state needs to be sued?
It's not. It's 14th Amendment. It's also 4th Amendment or 5th, whichever. The 4th Amendment, I think says you cannot seize people's persons. You cannot. The state cannot kidnap you without due process. And if it's kidnapping a part of you, that's 4th Amendment violation. It's just unconstitutional. It's Tyler's right. It's equal protection. And I just hate the idea that we have to use it. Like one right, enshrining every single right into the Constitution, when we should just plainly be able to see that it's unconstitutional to do this. It's
and Megan, Megan, to your point, and Tyler was getting to this as well. The state of Oregon is currently being sued.
Right. So he's going to have to go state by state because the president doesn't want to listen. I've tried to reach out to the White House every day for basically the past 18 weeks, almost 19 weeks on Friday. So they're not going to do anything because they want to keep doing it. And yeah, Eric Klopper is gonna literally probably have to go state by state, and hopefully to God he does Texas
Get a
next.
white cracker.
You're right, Megan, and he won't. Fortunately and hopefully, he won't be the only attorney that's going to go state by state like you suggest. He's just one of the.
Okay, yeah, we just need to get any attorney that is willing to fucking do it in that state to stand up and do it.
Yeah, essentially, and this certainly isn't the first time. It was way back in 1997. There was a law was proposed in California in San Francisco, trying to ban forced circumcision of infants in San Francisco. But then the law got shot down due to a technicality. They claimed that the city doesn't have the authority to ban it, that it has to be done on a state level or something like that. So this has been going on for a long time.
It's crazy because that state has a low circumcision rate.
Correct.
And they came close and then they couldn't do it because they tried to keep from doing it, basically.
Right, Jerry Brown is the reason why that didn't pass, because he was governor or something.
Well, that's part of the reason, Evan. Of course, there are other factors at play that are not quite so obvious to the public, and one of them is.
Bro, that fool looks like a fucking like he did a
Randy.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, religion and politics play a very large role in this. And for example, Iceland came very close to banning it in the entire country. All they wanted to do is just change the legal wording from making it illegal to do this to girls to make it illegal to do to children. That's all they wanted to do is just
they were
make it apply
probably
to both.
close to banning it, and that's why America's acting like, oh, well, we're gonna go and capture all these other countries, including that country, because they probably don't want that to pass because we're getting leverage. People are not doing this anymore that have any sense.
Yeah, you're right, Megan. That the percentage of people worldwide that are doing this to children is declining. And for example, in America, back in the 60s and 70s, it used to be around 80% nationwide, and now it's down around 50%. Granted, some states like Nebraska, for example, are very high, maybe 90%, and other states like Washington might be down around 10%. But nationwide, it's dropped from 80%. Yeah, to 50%, approximately 50%.
With the documentary American Circumcision, people are waking up to knowing that it's wrong.
Yes.
It's all over every social media.
Yes.
And I want everyone to contemplate, I'm not singling anyone out, but if there's a weaponization of religion, that people aren't doing circumcisions because they think it's part of their culture, they're doing it merely to gain political and religious leverage, that is a serious affront to everything we should care about as Americans. That if we're letting other religions dictate our public policy, that is, people fearmonger about Sharia law all the time. What about the Christo-Judaic law that says we have to mutilate kids? And
exactly,
some governments are fucking
it's
propping
like,
it up.
why are you so scared of other religions that they don't mutilate? Like,
and in America, in particular, it's the Jewish religion that's putting up the greatest opposition to ending circumcision. And unfortunately, because America policy affects so much of the world, that if we can't get it banned in America, then all these other countries say, well, look at America. They're a leading country and they don't ban it. And yeah, it's the Jewish religion that's putting up the greatest opposition to banning circumcision because it is highly ingrained in their religion. It is sacred. It is a sacred rule, a sacred law that all baby boys must be circumcised on the 8th day, and they will not give that up easily by any means.
And then Hadrian, I don't know if you guys know Roman history, but Hadrian was a guy who led Rome for a time, and he banned circumcision, and he had a boyfriend, and it's a big story. Go look up Hadrian. He banned circumcision, and who rioted?
And where was that?
This was in ancient Rome, like 1800 years ago, like 200 AD.
Wow.
Hadrian, he banned circumcision. I think the Greeks banned it too, but there's always this one group of people who just like, no, we're going to keep doing this. And we're going to keep doing this. You go look up the own history about it, but We've been trying. People of good moral character, like Hadrian, have understood this is mutilation for 2,000 years. But there's just one group of people who just will not let it go. They just won't let it go.
Well,
I'm
and
sick
a
of these
lot of
people.
Christians won't let it go either because they're like, oh, well, Jesus is circumcised. And we're like, yeah, we know. But have you read the New Testament? Have you read Galatians 5:2? No? Okay, well then, what the hell? Why are you a Christian?
Bo and Rugger are here. Bo. Okay. Rugger. Bo or Rugger, are you guys here?
Yep.
Okay, Rugger.
I just had a question for anybody that's a pro circumcision. Why are you so opposed to allowing a child to grow up, become an adult, and decide this issue for themselves? If
Because they're making money
anybody
off
can
it.
give me a reason
Rugger,
why
they're making
we
money
have
off
to
it.
cut children.
Because they're making
Because they don't
money
want
off of it.
children to have anything.
It's so Rugger.
But
Rugger.
understand-
No, I'll answer your question, Rugger. There are a number of reasons. Number one is it's a financial machine. Hospitals and doctors make tons of money on this.
Vacation.
No, that's a reason that doctors and hospitals want it to continue.
Okay.
That's not a reason that all these people in the comments and anybody that comes into these intactivist spaces and argues against it, it's not their reason. They're just
Rugger, the reason why in that case, well, no, I understand. The reason in that case is that we are a cutting society. America is a cutting culture. We've been cutting our baby boys for almost like 100 years, and it's hard for us as a society to recognize and admit that we have been doing something very wrong, and that we as individuals, men who have been circumcised, have been harmed, and that our bodies are not the way they should be. And so it's a psychological thing that's very hard to overcome. And then when you have social media telling, people, like for example on TV, there are shows that make fun of intact men, and
Right.
and lots of young people are watching these shows, then they're influenced,
damaging.
and it further reinforces.
They almost try to force your child to look like they're circumcised. We've
Yeah,
heard
and so-
stories like that.
The
And
machine feeds
I
itself.
agree with you, and I'm not trying to hijack the live. I was just wondering if there's any possibility we could get anybody that's down in the comments that's arguing against this to come up and answer that question for me. Why are you so opposed to allowing men to decide this issue as adults?
As their own
it's
sovereign being.
It's plain and simple. If you can answer that for me, if you can give me a good reason why we can't just let children be and let them decide at 18 if they want to get cut, great. I got no problems with it.
Society needs to view men as the sentient beings that they are and stop looking at men as lower and stop trying to take their rights away. They're not slaves. They're grown men telling you they're not thankful. So stop allowing it to continue.
It's really. I'm so glad you're here, KVH. KVH, his parents has been working on this for decades, and part of it, KVH, is perpetuating medical supremacy, medical arrogance, medical abuses of power. Part of it is just to perpetuate like a caste system in the United States where people in the medical industry are seen as like good people inherently, which is absurd. There's bad people in every industry, KVH, and they use circumcision as like a gateway to opening the doors to abuse that continues throughout some people's entire lives.
Yeah, it normalizes any kind of surgery from birth, which obviously is inherently bad because surgery should be the last option for anybody. And yeah, it does legitimize them. Not good.
It creates a system where we've surrendered our critical thinking to people who are making money off of torturing us for profit, which is what circumcision is. Kate, are you there? Cade? Okay, I'm sorry we took so long, dude. But did you want to add something, Cade? Caden?
Yeah, I was just up here. I just want to say, like, I'm glad I don't got a Flappy Bird dick. That's just mom.
Jesus.
Well, I have an
That is the
intact
most-
son,
So-
and I find that
glad my
offensive
mom had a
just
brain.
saying that.
You're glad that you were mutilated.
Hear me out.
Your mom had a brain for
No, we don't have to
mutilating.
hear you out. We don't
saying-
even
y'all
know
is
Oh,
if you're
saying-
18. Are you 18?
I'm 19. I'm 19.
Okay,
But
I
y'all
have
are
an
saying
intact
wait till-
son, so be careful
all
what you
miss
say
Flappy
on here is going to offend me.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
But
We're
y'all are
always
saying
worried
wait
if we're going to
till
offend
later
women.
in life to do it. Bro, you get UTIs and shit.
That is a lie.
How so?
Okay, but the thing is, if you wait later, I feel like it's just
yet.
worse to wait later into life because I feel like it's more trauma on the kid. buddy.
Excuse me.
No, it's not.
Do you have kids of your
When
own?
you have it done
I
later
feel like
in
as a
life,
baby,
Do you
when
have
you
kids?
have
as a
it done
baby,
later
you don't
in
really
life,
remember.
you can
Circumcision
get
is
the
rape.
proper.
Circumcision is rape.
Well, we
What?
can agree on that then.
I don't agree with my little brother. Circumcision is rape.
You don't agree with your little brother? He has more sense than you.
Circumcision is rape.
It is.
Thank you.
They're trolls.
Nah, he's just trolling out, bro. But the real thing is,
Real
why do y'all
thing
think
is,
it's
it
better?
really is though.
Why do
It's
y'all
not
think
okay
it's
to do
better?
to a baby. A
Okay, why
baby
do you
has
think it's
rights.
better to do it later
To
in life?
anyone.
So, Caden, you don't have to have it done later in life.
It never has to be done. I have a 4-year-old son who's intact. You don't have to mutilate them.
Hey,
so they
Caden,
fit
did
in.
you know that 70 to 75%
I'm gonna be honest, though.
of males worldwide are intact?
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm circumcised. I'm not circumcised, and I got cheese growing on my shit.
No, you're
You're
not
just
saying
making
You're
shit
just
up.
being a troll. You're being a juvenile troll.
Yeah, like I'm not even sure if you're 19 because you don't even act like a 19-year-old.
Megan, why the fuck are you in the chat?
Because
Megan, are you
Wow.
LGBTQ?
I am a mother. I am a mother in Texas. I have intact children. I know about
Keep
the
it 100.
subject. I've been studying it for
Is
12
your
years.
no gay
Who are
shit? Like, is your
you?
son's dingaling circumcised? Is your son's dingaling circumcised?
No, I would not ever do
God,
that over my dead body.
One, all right, keep it
Over
100. Once
my
he comes in there,
dead body. Do you
okay,
hear that? Like, I'm not
Damn,
gonna
I
allow
love that.
somebody to cut my kid. You know why? Because I protect my son.
Amen.
That's my son to protect, and mothers that don't need to really be investigated.
Get him, Megan.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
And if your mother's not gonna apologize, then you need to think about why is she not apologizing? Because that's something to apologize for.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things you could apologize for. Yeah.
My mom apologized to my brother.
Good.
91. My own brother got cut. That's not okay.
Nope.
And I apologize to my son.
Thank you.
That's good.
I'm working out. I've made it my life mission to end this practice. I may not succeed, but I'll do the best I can in what time I have left.
No, we will succeed.
We
Stop
will
that.
succeed. We are succeeding.
Yes. There's no way that anyone can support genital mutilation of a child. There's no
way.
No way to support that argument in any direction.
Not and be logically consistent.
Exactly.
Copy
It's
that.
impossible.
More parents need to apologize. They need to write it down. They need to do something. Do some intactivism. Do something.
And I'm going to appeal to everyone on this panel right now, because I know some of you very personally. There are some intactivists, whether they call themselves intactivists or not, but there's some people who support our mission, but they utterly hate regret parents. So if you guys
And that's
can do,
not good.
Oh, I agree, but I'm just telling you, there's some people that hate regret parents, and even though regret parents don't have to admit that they made this decision, years and years ago, but they want to help the cause, and therefore they've admitted that they've made this decision, they made this mistake, and yet there are intactivists that hate them.
Yeah, they're not over their grief and their
I
anger.
don't know any intactivists who hate regret parents.
I know
because
one.
I've never seen
that's
it.
not going to help us to
Yeah,
hate
demonizing
them.
somebody's parents is never going to sway them to come to our side.
Right.
I agree. You're preaching to the choir. I'm just
That's
telling
why-
you, they're not the majority. They're
they
by
know
far they're by far the minority, but they are out there.
But I think as an intactivist, we do get frustrated with people because they're not understanding quick enough.
And that's
well,
fine,
and they all trot out the same tired arguments. It's for
Yeah, they
health.
just
It's
repeat.
for
They're like
hygiene.
Mockingbird, repeating the same thing over again.
Exactly.
Right, but I'm talking about regret parents who've made the decision to circumcise their child, and then they were educated and learned the reality, and they realized that they made the wrong decision, and they apologized
And we
to their child.
respect them highly, and we need that in our movement more than
Well, thank
anything
you.
else.
Thank you.
They're
And
the
please,
biggest advocates we have. Like,
Yeah, because
and I appreciate that.
that
Please,
is.
please repeat that to from time to time to others, because, like I said, there are a few of them
I
out
try
there.
to. I will try to do it more because I know I can be really like just pissed off all the time, and it is hard because it is frustrating because we're literally doing this every day. It's not like we are not thinking about it ever. We are always thinking about it.
So if you guys want to reach out to me personally, DM me personally. We can talk specifics and who's who. I'd be more than glad. That way, maybe somebody else can help these people understand and realize the reality. Because I have failed. I've tried over and over with at least one individual, and I cannot seem. Nothing I do or say convinces this person that I am not a monster. That I am part of the solution and not part of the problem. So please,
everyone makes mistakes, you know.
Exactly.
My mom made the mistake. I mean,
can repent.
I love my mom still, and she's passed away. I mean, it's something that every regret parent probably wishes they could take it back, and it's something you would do in a heartbeat. We know.
Yeah, it was
Because I know
29
if it were me
29
and
years
I was
ago.
living with that feeling, I wouldn't want to live like that. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it was 29 years ago, and back then the internet barely existed. You know, I didn't have access to it. I didn't know anyone that was intact. I didn't know any parents of anyone that was intact. The doctors told me this is what I should do. The nurses told me this is what I should do. And,
Yeah.
and what little I heard about it on the radio indicated that it's a wise thing to do. I didn't know any effing better, and I made this decision. And the second I was with my son as he was getting cut, and as the second that the practitioner started cutting, and my son started screaming, I said, "What the hell is going on? Why are you doing this?" And they said, "This is what we do. It's part of the procedure." I said, "Well, you have to stop." And they said, "We can't. We've already started." And it was utterly horrible. And so I truly did not know that this was the wrong thing to do. But there are some people who claim that no matter what, I should have known, period, the end. And I truly didn't. So please help educate those who can't seem to understand that 30 years ago, there practically was no other option. This was standard.
And I'm truly sorry that you've had to live like feeling this way for that long over a mistake, over one day of your life. And you know, it's you're doing it. You're doing it.
You've put your all in on it.
You really are.
I'm trying. I hope to join Bloodstained Men in February. I wanted to in September, but I couldn't because of a job.
Well, they
change.
would love to have
But,
you.
yeah, no, and I know Brother K personally, and I know MK, of course. I really want to do it. It's just the logistics may be challenging, but I'm hoping to do it. So, all right, guys, I got to run, but thank you so very much, and I love you all, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now.
Take care. Don't beat
Bye.
yourself up.
Thank you, Tim,
Thank you.
so much.
Bye.
It's not your fault.
Tim is he's been a pillar of our struggle, and I can't say enough about Tim. He's amazing, and he if we get this done, it's because of people like Tim.
Yeah.
There are people who are depending on. Rich, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm here.
Go ahead.
No, I was just joining the panel. I figured I might comment every once in a while. I personally don't agree with circumcision. I didn't have my boys circumcised. I thought it would just, I don't know if I would go as far as the rape thing, I haven't. Or I'm sorry, grape. But it would just be painful, and I didn't want them to hurt.
Good. I'm glad you used your basic instincts. Appreciate that.
No problem. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm eating. Sorry.
What are you eating?
Cheeseburger.
Nice.
What's the background? That's me. Don't you love filters? You still have
beautiful, Evan.
You still thanks. That you still have the most sensitive parts. You still have beneficial. What are you talking? What are they talking about? What are they talking about? It's not penetration. How do you remove an organ without penetrating it?
Exactly.
I don't know why they keep asking. Why? How is it penetration?
Yeah, they don't understand that it's penetration.
Like, how is cutting something not penetration? Like, I don't
Exactly. The logic is like elementary. Every elementary kid could say, yes, a stab is a stab.
Yeah, but if you slice something, it's different now. Okay, dude.
They're saying it's not great. Well,
they don't understand the definition.
That did it happen? A lot of people just like, well, it didn't happen to me, so it's not great.
Okay, so don't
even
call
if it does,
great,
they like
just call it wrong.
Well, it doesn't get the clicks.
No, I'm saying these people that have a problem with the term, they can just stick with it's wrong.
Rowan says some males who have issues. Every man who has this happen to him is going to have sexual dysfunction. Some of them are going to have severe sexual dysfunction. Some of them are going to lose their entire thing. Some of them are going to not survive it. So to minimize this, to say some males, no, it's every male. Every male. It's some males will unalive from it. I don't know if that qualifies.
We
as
know
an
a
issue
lot
for
of
you.
that have unalived.
There's a boy who got an infection, had to live his entire life as a paraplegic because he got the infection from his circumcision spread to his brain, and he had to live as a cripple his entire life. And he lived an entire life, 20 years, with circumcision complications, and he unalived. And this guy's from Alaska. Go Google him. He lived until his like early 20s, late teens, and then he didn't live anymore. He was gone. Because of it took 20 years for the he fought his entire life.
And the thing is, it was completely elective and unnecessary. He didn't have to go through any of that.
And that's
the medical industry is putting America through this. It is destroying this country, people. We have to stop these people.
Thank you. Yes, you're right.
And aren't on a less, I mean, it's important, but far less important than that story. Aren't the ED rates in America compared to Europe like astronomically higher?
Yeah,
probably 10 times.
The blue pill and all the lotion tropes and all the movies and the hawk to a girl. There's a whole subculture base, and the tattoo industry.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. In the tattoo industry, which is like a expression of trauma, is for some people.
Oh, I didn't know that. My brother's a tattoo artist. And also circumcised.
Well, Megan, that's why tattoos are a big thing for some people. It's an expression of trauma, and people with heavy body modifications, that's all could be an expression of trauma. And it's like the whole metal culture, Megan, like heavy metal, that could just be a symptom of circumcised men, and like the grunge, punk. I could go on. There's a whole subculture based on circumcision. It's basically ingrained in our
I
entire
know
culture.
Most of the men were cut that I've been in like serious relationships with, but like when I first found out about it, like of course they were like offended or whatever, and then said like mean shit, like go go suck on some intact dick, basically.
Really?
And it's like, yeah, just real disrespectful. To basically like you don't want me, you want that, And that's sad because you don't want the person that you care about hurting like that. But you can't lie either. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Lost and found.
Well, the trauma response is hard.
Yeah, and they pump. Why are boys getting prescribed all these meds? Because they have been sabotaged.
Can either of the women on the panel speak to? And you don't have to. I'm just asking if you know. Do you have experience with both intact and circumcised men? And is there a difference?
Yes. And that's the saddest part. I literally was saddened leaving because I realized it's very sad. It's all around just, I mean, what? I don't understand how this is still happening.
Neither do I.
Lost and found. What is this person in the chat talking about?
They keep on saying that it's not the same as grape, and they went on to say that
literally is.
Yes, I'm aware there are issues with circumcision, but again, what about those who have problems without it? Right, and to that comment, I said I understand that women experience SA, but what about the ones who don't?
Yeah, they won't remember it, right?
Their nervous system will never forget.
Exactly.
Well, and just because you don't remember something doesn't make it right. I mean, Rohypnol is illegal for a reason.
Yeah, but at least when they use that, there's some sort of sedative. Nothing for an infant boy. He has to feel 100% of the pain.
And I'm just so sick and tired of men getting treated this way. And then getting gaslit every day and not being able to freely talk. I mean, everybody really needs to just, we gotta get this illegal.
We're treated like shit from birth.
Yeah, and and I have a son,
crazy.
so I know how fragile he was when he was a baby, and I just can't even imagine how hurt y'all are that your own mother would do that to you. That's hurtful.
It's all of society. It's not you can't blame the mother. There's a whole system around.
In my opinion, you can 100% blame the mother because
they have the last say, but the whole system.
They
wouldn't
have
be there.
the only say to protect the child when it comes out of you. You should be the number one person.
They're preying on a mother in her most vulnerable hour. Do you understand?
You're both right to some extent because I know.
They're preying on a mother who is in their most vulnerable state.
Yeah,
I know I know it's fine. I know it's anecdotal, kind of, but
I don't want the mothers to have any more excuses.
A close family member, I warned her not to have her third son cut, and she did it anyway. So it is kind of on the mother sometimes.
No, it is. They're the last stop because they don't ask the father last.
Once they've been educated, but once someone is exposed,
they're in their most
truth.
vulnerable state they've ever been in their entire life. Do you understand? It's like trying to sell somebody a car when they've just gotten struck by another car. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
We have to. It's the really frustrating.
Women also need to take their power back, and if they're just relying on hospitals and they don't it starts with the mother. The mother has to take control
with the service.
Of herself.
The service shouldn't exist.
And her
it should
child.
be illegal. The service should be illegal.
Well, yeah. I mean...
Yeah. If it wasn't presented, it would never be an option. And in your most vulnerable state, you're just going to be like, okay, I don't know. I trust you guys.
Well, that's why it's important, things like this, where people are exposed to the information and they're not in their most vulnerable state. Hopefully,
yeah, they're being shown the information way before they're even having the baby. So, I mean, their attitude towards it is already, I'm going to do this. Their attitude is already where it is.
That's different.
Right. But if the medical establishment was completely honest about this procedure, no one would choose it anyway.
No.
That is
If
true.
parents knew that this was taking place in the stress hypo response period, when even minor pain can rewire the nervous system, no one would choose it. But they intentionally left that part out of their policy.
Well, very simply, if parents were required to be in the room when this happened, the
Like
rate
Tim was.
would fall to 0 within 5 years.
I don't know. I know parents who have personally been there and also continued to cut more of their sons. And they brag about it on social media and post about it. So I don't really think that's true.
Maybe not 0, but it would fall precipitously.
Yeah, dramatically for sure.
I think it matters the parent that's in the room, right? I see more men that were in the room that say, "Hey, this isn't okay," than I see. Well, I guess that's inaccurate. I see probably about equal numbers, but it seems like women will defend it harder, even if they were in the room and witnessed it.
Either way, it needs to
They
be stopped
say, "Oh,
from
yeah, it wasn't a big
systematically,
deal."
right?
Bugatti.
Talking about
is here.
systemic changes, you have to start it where it's offered.
Well, there's lots of moms groups on Facebook, so I understand where people are coming from. Bugatti, and there's